Rec League Podcast. Tell your friends, tell your neighbors, tell your family, tell your haters. Available on Podbean, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Radio Public, Good Pods, Pocket Cast, Breaker, and Stitcher. At Rec League Podcast on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, and Threads. At Rec League Pod on Twitter. Episode 155. Available now. Yo, whether you watching this from Facebook, Twitter, click the link in my Instagram or YouTube itself. What up, world? So I just watched Mickey 17. It's a new science fiction movie starring Robert Pattinson, Steven Yeun, Naomi Ackie, Mark Ruffalo, Toni Collette, and it is directed by Joon-ho, Oscar winner, director of The Host, Okja, Parasite, the one he won the Oscar for, almost slipped out of my mind, and other movies in that, but I don't know what they're called. I'm ignorant American. He directed other movies before. Snowpiercer. You got Mickey, and he volunteers to migrate to another planet, and among his job assignments that he volunteered for, he's the guinea pig, so everybody else that's going to the other planet can survive, basically. But then complications arise, and plots thicken, and excitement ensues, and stuff that I'm not going to go into detail about. My build-up for this movie is basically like the development of life. When I heard it was coming out, I was like, oh, okay, the dude did Parasite. He's got a new movie coming out. Big deal. I didn't care. And then, even when Robert Pattinson got cast, Steven Yeun got cast, this dope cast all agreed to be in this movie, I didn't care. And I think it was supposed to come out like a year ago. If this movie had come out a year ago, I probably wouldn't have went to go see it. But maybe I would have, because once the trailer started coming out, and I saw like the vibe was pretty quirky and comedic elements, I got more and more interested. It was originally supposed to come out in April of this year once it actually got a release date. And Warner Brothers switched it with Sinners, Ryan Coogler, Michael B. Jordan. Now that comes out in April. Obviously, this comes out now. I really wish I was reviewing Sinners. But I also really enjoyed this movie. Robert Pattinson is doing like this, like, not really ditzy, not really dumb. I don't know if unaware is the word. He's just kind of like going through the motions. You know, I've done this many times, and here we go again. Naomi Ackie plays a character who I think is kind of like a law enforcement authoritative character in this community. Steven Yeun, his connection is also very interesting because, I wanted to say that he doesn't really play a character like this ever before, hasn't played a character like this in the past, but then his character from Nope has similarities. And then, all the performances are great. I'm like, I just told this to a homie on Twitter. Robert Pattinson might be getting put into my favorite actors class with Colin Farrell and James McAvoy. Speaking of James McAvoy, I would have liked to have seen Robert Pattinson play all 17 of these copies. Like, we kind of got bits and pieces of all 17 personalities from James McAvoy in Split, all 24 personalities from James McAvoy in Split. See, I get excited and I jumble and cross up and mix up thoughts. McAvoy played 24 characters in Split. There are 17 Mickeys. I would have liked to have seen Pattinson give us a different performance from all of those characters in one way or another. But we get multiples, and it is dope. Multiple different performances in one movie from the same person, and Pattinson stands out. I can't hold you. Leading up to the Batman, I was one of those. He's the guy from Twilight. My boys, podcast squad, Reckley, what up, told me the Twilight movies are not good movies, but he is not bad in the Twilight movies. And I watched all 5 of those so I could be informed, and they were correct. Robert Pattinson is a really great actor. So I it hurts my soul every time the Batman Part 2 gets delayed. And Mark Ruffalo, circling back, is great in this, and I'm pretty sure he is doing an impression. And this movie emphasizes how humans, mainly Americans, love to just move in on whatever they want without having all the information and just assuming they can take. And Americans, Caucasians, white people, males, white male human people have done this since the beginning of time. That's why I am currently in America right now and not in Great Britain or some shit. The Mark Ruffalo character specifically, how misinformed, belligerent, idiotic politicians sound. I say all politicians, but Republicans. So, yeah, but he's great. I feel this release date, this early March release date, is gonna hurt a lot of best acting and best supporting acting nominations that this movie should get. This movie should have come out in November, December, so the Oscars this past weekend could have acknowledged it. But then who do you remove from who was nominated? But that's what I'm saying. Next Oscars is gonna forget this movie came out because it come out in March. And this might be blasphemous to a lot of cinephiles who might stumble upon this channel, but this is my first time watching some Bong Joon-ho. At the very least, I'm gonna hit eBay and try to go back and look for Snowpiercer and The Host and Parasite and what was it, Okja. Stephen Yeun, Jake Gyllenhaal was in Okja, right? I know that shit was on Netflix. And I hear motherfuckers rave about Snowpiercer all the time. I just never took the time. Everybody that claims to be a cinephile has blind spots. Don't put me out to pasture. You know what I'm saying? Don't put me on the side of the road like when y'all abandon your pets. I don't even really feel like I'm a cinephile. I just like watching movies. I know my shit, but I'm not a movie snob. Yeah. No, there are some great performances. Nothing overly cartoony. I think everything fits the tone. I think the pacing was dope. I think the story is so fucking interesting. The setting, the visuals on the natives of the new planet. Yeah, I really enjoyed this. All due respect to Companion, I think I got a new favorite movie so far in 2025. Again, we're in the first weekend in March, so don't watch this in November and be like, is Mickey 17 still your favorite? To the point that when this was announced, I wasn't looking forward to it. I'm not sure it was on my Letterboxd watch list. But with all that being said, I will say that in my opinion, Mickey 17 was dope. Have you seen Mickey 17? What you think? Positive, negative, somewhere in between? Let me know. I recently put up a review for Last Breath. Before that, I think before Last Breath, I did a review for Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man. But then Captain America, Brave New World, Paddington in Peru, those are almost a month old. Those reviews are almost a month old. Next weekend, the hope is to watch and review Black Bag and Novocaine. But I know for sure my theater is getting Novocaine. So we'll see. But then also, I don't know how I'm going to play it because my theater is also getting the first 4 Hunger Games movies next Thursday through Saturday. So I'm going to have to pick and choose when I holla at y'all. Rec League podcast. We talked about 1995. It was a really fun conversation. Eric and Nick rock with me on that one. Hopefully we'll get Rocket back next episode. But personal complications are impacting when I'm going to even be able to record the next episode. But be on the lookout, man. Like, subscribe, comment. Find me where you find me, man. Don't know where to find me. Watch these credits. Peace.